Mirad, podéis ver al sutil clarear lo que erguido se alzó cuando el sol se ocultaba y sus franjas y estrellas en el rudo luchar sobre el recio baluarte gallardo ondulaba y la bomba lanzar su rojiza explosión en la noche dio a ver que ahí estaba el pendón. El pendón estrellado tremola feliz en la tierra del valor, el libre país.
Hello, hola, bon dia. I am delighted to be with you today to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month 2022. Our virtual event has become a tradition for many companies and organizations, a way to celebrate Hispanic employees, a way to forge community, a forum to teach and learn, and a time to recognize and acknowledge all the contributions Hispanics make to this great nation across all fields and all sectors. Someone asked me, why do we need Hispanic Heritage Month when we know, and everybody we know surely knows, we're Hispanics year-round? Isn't our identity already firmly set? Why do we have to learn what we already probably know? Well, the truth is that Hispanic Heritage Month is a great galvanizing moment. It not only raises awareness of our contributions to the economy and culture to those that aren't Hispanics, but also for our community. It's not only a moment of taking stock of where we are today, but also as a reminder and a vehicle for coming together and do great things. Yes, unidos, unity of purpose. Those are words you're going to hear a lot from the many Hispanic voices that will be amplified this month. It is, of course, important to see ourselves as individuals in which being Hispanics is one of many ways we can describe ourselves. And as you well know, we are not a monolithic group. We are massively and gorgeously diverse. But we need to see ourselves as part of a larger group with a larger vision and a larger mission. Because when we unite in purpose, we help to drive progress for each of us and for all of us. The truth is that for all of the hard-won progress, many Hispanics are still much like with some distance to travel, barriers to remove, hurdles to jump. Despite the gigantic steps that we have taken over the years, not everybody is seen, heard, or valued. Representation, inclusion, and equity remain works in progress. But we are the generation that can and will break through. You will hear a lot about that today because we're getting momentum, we're getting traction. We're educated, we're digitally savvy, hardworking, ambitious. We're stronger than ever, we're proud, and we're getting louder. We're resilient and persistent. And if we unite around the idea of progress, we will raise the bar for ourselves, for our peers, and critically for the next generation. We're the second largest population group in America. Our numbers are getting exponentially larger. In so many ways, Hispanic progress is American progress. And it is up to us to come together, uplift each other. Because when we feel confident in our Latinidad, we know, you know, we're a force to be reckoned with. When we extend a hand to someone behind us, when we speak with a single voice on issues that affect us all, we are capable of great change. So this month, keep these words in your head: pride, unity, progress. We are the generation that will break through. And this is why Hispanic Heritage Month is so important and more important than ever. So I hope you enjoyed today's program. Let us officially kick off together Hispanic Heritage Month 2022.
How do we define the Hispanic community? Well, let me tell you, it isn't that easy. People call us Hispanics, Chicanos, Latinos, Latinas, and more recently, Latinx. We're opinionated, we're passionate, and sometimes divided on which we prefer.
Some facts. We are 62 million people who came to the U.S. from 26 different countries. Some of us are new to the States, some were here before America was colonized. Some have roots that go back a few generations.
Our richness is what makes us so unique. The fact of the matter is we come in all colors. Somos la raza cósmica.
We are black, white, brown, beige, every color of skin.
Our differences enrich us, but they sometimes fragment us too. And that saps our collective strength and silences our collective voice. What we need is unidos, to be united, unified, building our future together.
If there is one thing we can unify around, it is the idea of progress.
We believe in the American dream. We believe in the arc of its story, that education, hard work, and strong shared values are the way forward.
As we enter into Hispanic Heritage Month, this is a time to own our narrative, to share our contributions.
It is a time to elevate our conversations and aspirations with each other, at our workplaces, in our communities, and across America.
Hispanic Heritage Month is about pride and progress. It is a time for us to revel in the great things we do, to not only understand our collective power, but feel it, exercise it. Not by tearing things down, but by building them up.
When we pull together, we will have a more organized and visible impact. We will change perceptions. We will change our realities. Hispanics are stars. Every one of us sparkles and shines. But when we come together, we are a constellation that lights up the world.
Uplift and unidos.
This opening ceremony is a call to action to do just that. This month, let us tell our story, all the beautiful differences that enrich us, and the shared values and goals that empower us.
Hispanics are a massive, non-monolithic community. We're black, brown, beige, white, every skin color and combination. We're Catholics, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Protestants, atheists. We're straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans. We are indigenous, we are immigrants. We have origins in 26 countries around the world. Hispanics are nurses, essential workers, students, teachers, artists, friends. We fill the ranks of corporations, and we are also entrepreneurs, innovators, trendsetters, scientists. We are doctors. We are helping to shape global culture. Yet, out of the safety of our family and our neighborhood, we are often afraid to show the vibrance of our Latinidad, especially at school and work. We fear discrimination, stereotypes, and prejudice. We feel our otherness more than our togetherness, which is why it's important to understand that being Hispanic gives us an identity larger than our individual histories, backgrounds, and interests. Despite our diversity, we share values. We're loyal. We cherish our families and youngest members, and the oldest generation too. We're all united by our belief in the American dream. We believe in the arc of the American story, that education and hard work pave the road to progress and success.
Hola, hola. Bienvenidos. I'm Stacey de Artemis from Nielsen, and you are here because you know Hispanics are the secret to America's growth and future success. So let's talk about it. At nearly 20% of the US population, we are 1 in 5 Americans. And with 58% of our population under the age of 34 and 31% of our population under the age of 17, we are the youth of this country and we are shaping the future. In fact, the most common age among Latinos today in the US is just 19. For perspective, the most common age for non-Hispanic white is 61. Aside from being the largest racial or ethnic group in the United States and the youngest, we are a reflection of the world's diversity right here at home. We are Asian Latinos, Afro-Latinos, white Latinos, indigenous Latinos, LGBTQ plus Latinos. We are mixed race. We have various religious backgrounds and various political beliefs, but we are united in our pillars of culture and family. By now, you know that our buying power is $2.7 trillion per Latino Donor Collaborative data, and that really just confirms that we are a world economic powerhouse, not just an American one. But if the Latino community is the nation's economic engine, I want to remind you for a moment that Latinas are the fuel of that engine. Latinas today make up 1 in 5 women in the US, and we are attending college at higher rates than ever, with 44% now having some college or higher, which is an increase from 36% in 2010. And of all Latinas in the US, 62% of us are under the age of 34. And if we zoom out just a little, 87% of Latinas in the US are under the age of 54. That is a remarkably young cohort of women. So while Latinas are making all of this headway with education and economics, census data still tells us that we are overrepresented in some of the lowest paying job sectors, like the service industry. And we are underrepresented in sectors of influence like management, business, and science. Those industries, for perspective, employ about 46% of white women and just 29% of Latinas. With all of this potential, how do we ensure that our community continues to reach high? I believe it starts by inspiring positive identity formation. If you see it, you can be it. Our identity is built based on who and what we see around us, including how we are represented in media. Who do we have permission to become? Who can we fall in love with? Media informs us in this way. It's actually, in many ways, a tool for change, because representation in media shapes not only how we think about ourselves, but also our perceptions of other identity groups. Social science tells us that this will contribute to a healthy identity formation for our youth too. Remember, 31% are under the age of 17, and how they see themselves in content can help them grow. While we know that Latinos are growing with employment successes and educational attainment, nothing is more important than how we see ourselves in media. And so much of media today still centers on this singular perspective where perhaps a Latino character is just an addition to some other character's main story. Representation in content today stands at about 8% for Latinos in streaming. Yet, it's no surprise that Latinos tell us they can't find themselves in content, and when they do, 41% say that is an inaccurate representation. So as we begin to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, I encourage you to demand representation, and when you do find it, support it. Buy those books that tell our stories and share them. Watch that programming that well represents our communities that you love. The undeniable impact of U.S. Hispanics is evident throughout this evolving flavor of American entertainment. From Encanto's Academy Award win to Bad Bunny's recent history-making Artist of the Year win at the VMAs to Spotify's top songs of the summer, Hispanic influence on U.S. entertainment is profound. Even when we don't have equitable representation, the shine of our Hispanic star cannot be dulled. Just imagine if we had the representation that we deserved.
Hispanic Stars Rising, the new face of power, was launched during Hispanic Heritage Month in 2020. This collection of inspiring stories was just the beginning of what aims to be an ongoing effort of highlighting Hispanic stars, showcasing their inspiring stories and encouraging the next generation of Hispanic stars to also rise. For the third year, we'll be publishing an assembly of energizing stories from a diverse set of role model Hispanic stars nationwide with a powerful foreword written by Alfonso Herrera. For more information, visit hispanicstar.org/book.
Even though we have been here way before the United States existed as a nation and continue to drive the country's progress, Hispanic contributions are often unknown or forgotten. So we must ensure that they are not lost, but rather recognized, remembered, and honored. Most people are unaware of the incredible role Hispanics have in culture, business, science, economy, and arts.
Building a better future for all is only possible when we understand where we are and learn from our past. Today, Hispanics are not only the largest minority in the U.S., but also enormous contributors to our growth, culture, and success as a nation. Latino legacy can be found in U.S. history as early as the 1600s. Hispanics have diverse heritage, not only from their countries of origin, but from centuries of being key players in helping this country become what America is today. Their positive impact is undeniable, and their ingenuity, hardworking and family-oriented values, faith, optimism, and energy permeate the U.S. every single day. We Latinos are writing history. We are Hispanic stars.
Hispanics are often only seen through a narrow and distorted lens, even worse, scorned for physical labor or as essential workers. The truth is that we're also thought leaders, musicians, actors, filmmakers, athletes, doctors, entrepreneurs, C-suite executives. We are taxpayers, voters, members of the military. We're individuals and families, young people and beloved all generations. Stereotypes are meant to demean and diminish, and we have to stop them. We are makers, not takers. We are all proud Latinos. We need to act together as one. We are proud of our contributions and must feel the power we have in shaping the future of this country.
Today I want to show you how to make limonada con chan, a fresh limeade with chia seeds, sparkling water, and rose petals. Chia is ancient and native to Mesoamerica and very nutritious. This is how you do it. This is about a tablespoon of chia seeds. We're going to add the sparkling water to allow the seeds to bloom, and that is to develop a nice mouthfeel and a gel-like coating around the seeds. We let them sit for about 10 minutes, and I have another one that has been sitting there for about that time. We're going to give it a quick stir, and you are going to see that the seeds are floating on the top and the bottom. Now we are going to add some fresh lime juice, some simple syrup, and this is equal parts sugar and water that has been boiled for about 2 minutes. We give it another quick stir. And now we garnish. And these are the rose petals. We put this on the top, and we add a nice mint sprig here on the side. And there you have it. Limonada con chan a la Amalia.
At AARP, elevating the quality of life for the Hispanic community is one of our top priorities. We serve communities in all 50 states and the United States territories, including Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We are in community, empowering the 50+ to choose how they live as they age. Our hard work is possible thanks to our volunteer efforts. We have over 100,000 volunteer opportunities nationwide to support our diverse communities. Our commitment to diversity is also reflected in our leadership, where we have 3 Hispanic board members and 1 is our Hispanic board chair, Annette Frankie. We are also strong advocates of strengthening healthcare and Social Security. At the end of the day, all our initiatives center around one message: empowering the 50+ Hispanic community and their multi-generational families.
BIM Suntory is proud to support and celebrate our Hispanic and Latinx community, and we are thrilled to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with all of you. Among our 6 employee impact group, Salud represents our Hispanic and Latinx community and their allies, and is helping create a stronger sense of belonging for our Latin Hispanic employees. We are proud to be part of our EIG community that is promoting greater awareness, facilitating learning opportunities, and inspiring allyship to help everyone at BIM Suntory feel supported, safe, and heard.
We are here today to introduce you, to present you a wonderful program, Capitanes del Futuro.
So Capitanes del Futuro, it's intended to support Hispanic youth by finding those individuals that have leadership potential and surrounding them with the tools and the support they need to open their minds to career opportunities, build their confidence, reinforce the importance of Hispanic values for personal success, and increase access to higher education. All in all, a wonderful program with very big goals.
And I think that it deserves the opportunity of going to the whole community and spread the word.
I also want to thank and acknowledge all the work volunteers in the local Hispanic Star Hubs are doing to help spread the word and help us find the talented youth, as well as creating relationships with other local community organizations. And with that, we would love to invite many others, those who are watching this program and others that might watch a recording of it, to join the program, learn more about it. Visit hispanicstar.org/capitanes and reach out to help us join the journey. With your help, we're going to create a long-lasting ripple effect that will impact millions.
What is the name of the program now? Capitanes del Futuro.
Hi everyone, Lily Gil Valletta here. I wanted to share with you some of the findings from probably one of the largest studies and analysis of the voices of Gen Zs. That's correct. As we know, they are the largest generation, well over 72 million and growing strong. And guess what? About 40%, if not more, of all consumers right now today happen to be Gen Zs. Yes, that very vibrant generation under the age of 21. And when it comes to diversity, they are already majority minority. So this is not about understanding a niche segment, it's the new mainstream where Hispanic Gen Zs make up about 1 in 4 of that very big, vibrant generation. So what did we learn? We actually mined 795,000 digital comments to understand the voice of Gen Zs. And we were able to segment that by different backgrounds so that we could see what the voice of Hispanic Gen Zs sounds like. Now, we could go on and on here for a long time. I'm going to give you some highlights. Number one, this generation, no matter the ethnicity, are very socially conscious. The other thing is that they're also money conscious. Unlike a lot of us Gen Xers or millennials who want to splurge and really look for convenience, they are tightening up and have very conservative views when it comes to their money. So that is important for us to understand in terms of the value that we offer to the Gen Zs. And they are highly connected. We know that already. However, did you know that the majority of them actually want to have a live in-person shopping experience? Because the digital life that they live is the default. There's nothing cool and different about it. They see the cool different factors as experiences. So do not underestimate the power of a high-touch, human-to-human, authentic connection. And guess what? Our Hispanic Gen Zs do want to live more of those connections. And it's not just about being with friends, it is about being with the family, much more than it is for the other cohorts. Intuitively, we knew that culturally, but it's nice to see that the data and those close to 800,000 digital comments that we analyzed with Culture Intel confirm that social and family focus of our Hispanic Gen Zs. And yes, music continues to be at the top of the list when they think about what am I going to do this summer, what kind of experience I want. And socializing, no surprise there, is key for them, especially after being locked in for 2 years or so. They are craving, once again, that human-to-human experience. Key things for you to keep in mind, so let's wrap it for a moment. Socially conscious, so what is your purpose and what voice do you activate as a brand to be relevant to Gen Zs? Good thing to think about. The other thing is that they're money conscious, so when it comes to promotions and being smart, it's not about cheap, it's about convenience and value. You need to tell that story. And last but not least, let's not underestimate the power of experiences that are human to human, and for us Latinos and Latino Gen Zs, that integrate and weave the power of family.
As young Latinos, we are committed to appreciating and understanding the roots of our Hispanic heritage, preserving it in its most authentic form for future generations. It is a cultural responsibility we hold close to heart as the children or grandchildren of immigrants who pursued new opportunities here in the US and built a better future for us.
Our stories are vastly unique, yet all weave together into the fabric and promise of the American dream, a journey that proves to be simultaneously daunting but rewarding at every turn. Now, in a country that often appears to be more divided than united, we speak up in the name of change to combat injustice and recreate a society that truly reflects each one of us.
Just take a look at the 2020 US presidential elections. NBC News reported that out of 8.6 million Latinos nationwide who voted early, roughly 2.4 million were first-time and newly registered voters. In fact, Circle found that youth voter turnout was dramatically higher than 4 years prior.
This is one example of how loud Latinx voices can translate activism into real and concrete growth. By expressing the importance of engaging in this invaluable act of citizenship, many young Latinos held the rein and encouraged those in their own communities of all ages to get motivated.
And it worked. In 2024, outstanding progress will have undoubtedly been made again. See, when we come together, whether it's for the sake of defending our cultures, politics, ideologies, or socioeconomic standing, awareness ensures and a movement can launch.
This is a call to action that signals the generations before us and behind us to step up, to pave new, invigorating roads, because prosperity, grounded in hard and honest work, is in our blood.
Seguimos adelante.
Seguimos adelante.
Seguimos adelante.
Seguimos adelante.
Seguimos adelante.
You just saw it. Latinos are shaping the future. It is our job now to make sure we hear what we have to say, as well as include Latinos at every important conversations. Latinos deserve a seat at every table. Hispanics really are the builders of the future, both for our community and for our country. We are already making an incredible impact on this country and in the world. You heard it through the cultural impact earlier. But it is also true in the economic power that we represent, as well as our presence in the workforce. There will be no hiring, no growth, no training without Latinos. So let's dive into that a bit more with our friend Mark Hugo Lopez at Pew Research.
My name is Mark Hugo Lopez, and I'm the Director of Race and Ethnicity Research at the Pew Research Center in Washington, D.C. I want to talk to you today about some of the findings we've had around Latinos, both in terms of demographics recently, there's been some changes, and also about the situation of Latinos in the labor market. But first, about the Pew Research Center. We're a nonpartisan, non-advocacy organization. We take no positions on policy, and I just wanted to be clear about that because we don't endorse any recommendations. But first, some demography. The nation's Hispanic population has reached almost 63 million people. This is according to the latest population estimates from the U.S. Census Bureau. But one thing to note here is that the 2020 census, which came in with around 62 million Latinos counted, did have an undercount of about 5% of the nation's Hispanic population. That translates into about 3 million or so folks. And so these numbers, while impressive and continue to show rapid growth of the nation's Hispanic population, are an undercount of what the true number of Hispanics living in the nation is. But with all that said, though, there are some other interesting patterns that the 2020 census revealed. One of the first key ones is the states in which Latinos live in the fastest growing states. So California, Texas, and Florida together have about half of the nation's Hispanic population. But states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, New Hampshire, Tennessee, Louisiana, during the last decade have had the fastest growth in their Hispanic populations. Admittedly, the populations in some of these states are relatively small. We're talking tens of thousands of Latinos living in those states, but they are the fastest growing states, which is an important part of the story and the ongoing story of the dispersion and growth of the nation's Hispanic population. Also, that growth is really interesting because, while places like California and Los Angeles County, for example, continue to have the largest populations of Hispanics, you also see that the growth at the county level across the nation in the Hispanic population is actually distributed in places where we have traditionally not had many Hispanics. This is a continuation of the story that we've seen for the last 2 to 3 decades, and the last decade was no different. But as you can see, places in the Northeast, in the South, and in the Midwest have had some of the fastest county level Hispanic population growth in the last 10 years. I want to talk, though, about the economic situation of Latinos, and Latinos particularly around the job market. There's been some really good news lately, and that is that the Hispanic unemployment rate is now reaching near record lows. In July of this year, the unemployment rate, according to the Department of Labor, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was 4.2%. That's above the 3.8% for the nation as a whole, but the nation's Hispanic unemployment rate has come way down from where it was at its peak during the April 2020 COVID-19 shutdown. This is good news for Latinos, because Latinos are also seeing that we have a record number of Hispanics working in the labor force, and Latinos as a representative share of the nation's labor force is now reaching record levels. So, for example, in July of 2022, nearly 30 million Latino workers were employed in the United States. That's more than was the case in December of 2019, which was the last peak, and it also makes up about 18% of all employed Americans. And among the unemployed, we also see that the nation's Hispanic workers who are unemployed, that number is at 1.3 million in July of 2022. However, that is down from a peak of 5 million plus in April of 2020, and about 20%, about 1 in 5 of all Americans are Latino. To put that percentage in perspective, the nation's Hispanic population makes up about 19, almost 20% of the nation's total population. So Latinos are well represented in the nation's labor force. Finally, despite some of this success, we've also found that at least in this century, at least in the last 2 decades, we've seen some Latinos, particularly middle-income Latinos, slipping in the income tier. That is, falling from the upper income tier into the middle income tier, or from the middle income tier into the lower income tier. And this is something that's more likely to happen among Hispanic households than it is among white households or Asian households. As you can see, the share of Latinos who moved from the middle income tier to the lower income tier was about 21% between 2000 and 2021, favorable one. We've also found that among issues, it is economic issues that are at the top of mind for Latinos this year. Inflation particularly is an important concern for them, particularly inflation around food and consumer goods, and inflation around gas and energy prices. You can find our work at pewresearch.org, and you can follow me as well at mhugolopez on Twitter. Thank you very much, and I look forward to our conversation.
My most favorite IBM initiative that impacts our Hispanic community is a program we call PTech, or Pathways in Technology, Early College High School. It's a public education model created by IBM and state education, and it targets high school students from underserved backgrounds. It provides skills in academia, technical, professional skills that are needed for STEM jobs, or science, technology, engineering, math jobs.
The one initiative that I'm personally passionate about is working with We Are All Human and co-sponsoring the evolution of the Hispanic Promise, putting much more teeth into what it means to not just sign the promise, but to live the promise, to track against commitments, to publicly report them, and ultimately make a difference in the world.
We need a unified voice. We need a shared agenda to take action together.
We don't want to start a revolution, but we do want a daily educational and raise awareness process.
We need to know who we are and communicate it to the world through our actions and our narrative.
We have hundreds of leaders that can set up the way and speak up together to help our community.
It's a we agenda.
To advance the recognition, understanding, and access of Hispanic Americans.
Societally, economically and culturally.
And for all those millions of Latinos who were born in the U.S., we all proudly carry our heritage, and we recognize our roots, our family values, our respect for others, our communal spirit, and we give thanks.
At the same time, we celebrate our immigrants who bring strength, vitality, hard work, and determination to our community. And we celebrate our roots and heritage and family values. Latinos were here before this became the United States. So today we celebrate those who came before us, who advanced our communities to where we are today and on whose shoulders we stand.
Hola, I am Julieta Schuster, and I am super proud to represent Procter & Gamble as we kick off our celebrations on Hispanic Heritage Month. We're gonna celebrate it big across all of our sites in the US, as well as with all of our employees with a big kickoff on September 21st. We're celebrating our brands and the people that use our products that are Hispanics all over the world. We're also celebrating our people inside P&G and outside of P&G because our communities will make us better. It's very exciting, and I encourage all of you to celebrate as we are.
Our time is now. We have all the conditions to succeed. The census data tells us that in the future, there's no way you can hire or sell without Latinos. No way you can reach political office without Latinos. We have real, actionable power, but that kind of power is only realized collectively.
Too often, we focus on our differences rather than the dreams and goals we share in common. Too often, we have a scarcity mentality. We think that resources, opportunities, and successes are few and far between.
That's understandable because it has been true in the past. In our own families, we are often the first to go to college, the first to get a big corporate job, the first to have a business so successful we might as well be living on a different planet.
But when we view the world from a scarcity mindset, we feel overprotective, overcompetitive. We shut down others because it feels like it's us or them. It makes it difficult to dream even bigger because we're afraid of losing what we have. No wonder we don't support each other as much as we should. We're afraid of losing the ground we've gained.
But it's time that we do come together as a community. When we act together, we break down the barriers. When we help each other, we open new doors. When we act in our collective interests, our power grows exponentially.
We create abundance through unity. We have strength through unity.
We all win when we move forward together. The truth is that the dam is starting to break.
It is within reach to make sure that the next generation will be seen, heard, and valued. It is up to us to make sure that they are ready to meet the challenges.
Hispanics are the future of America. Hispanic progress is American progress, but we must be the stewards of our own future.
Hispanic Heritage Month is a time of great pride. Revel in it. It's also a good time to take stock, to become part of a unified community.
Remember that our differences enrich us, but our unity empowers us. Our collective impact can transform all of our lives.
Hispanics are stars that sparkle on our own, but when we pull together, we're a constellation that lights up the world, and together we shine.
Our commitment is to unify and to become a community of Hispanic stars rising above any limitation, to be a united community. Let us stand by each other. Let's support each other. Let's buy from each other, mentor each other, and open the door for each other. Let us understand that we are all connected by our desire to progress, but that the higher we go, the lonelier it gets. Let us commit to share the access code and move from the scarcity mentality to the abundance mentality. And be proud. Let us elevate the reality of Latinos as stars. Educate everyone about our data and the powerful force that we represent for America. Let us make sure every Latino knows about the contributions of Latinos to America. Let us develop community self-awareness and celebrate the importance of Hispanics yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let's set the record straight. and create a unifying messaging framework and sing from the same song sheet together. Let us change our perception by influencing the industries where perception is created, such as media, journalism, films, painting, music, entertainment, education, fashion, photography. Let us develop books, children's books, museums, shows, because together we can move the perception of Latinos from invisible to visible, from negative to positive, from takers to makers. Let's create strong networks of support. Let's push upward mobility by developing strong networks of Latinos in every industry, in every company, in every geographic region. Let us be bold and ask for support. And let us be generous and interested in giving support to each other. Every time we get somewhere, take someone else with you. Let us accelerate our progress. Better education, better health, better jobs, and better gender equality. That is the agenda of progress for all Latinos. So let's advance it together. Let's unite our voices, because together we can achieve anything. We can overcome our barriers and conquer our dreams. Let's make sure every Latino is seen, heard, and valued. And let's always remember that America is made of stars, and Hispanics are one of them. We are Hispanic stars, and together we shine.